What's up, Facebook world? Freedom Hacks back and here to give you a daily dose of hopefully inspiration, insight, maybe even a little bit of motivation. Today's episode number 7, and it's all about the power of language, all right? And the first time I really took note of this in the context that I'm gonna start off by sharing with you was after I read a book called The 4 Agreements. Right, and if you've never read that book, I would highly recommend it to everyone. I think the author's a guy called Miguel Ruiz. Have a look. I've got the audio and the book, and I find both actually I take different things from. So if you haven't read that book, it's really short. There's 4 main things, obviously, the 4 agreements, but they're great for, I wouldn't call them philosophies, but they're almost great values that you can take and, I guess, adapt to how they fit for you in your life. And doing what I do on a day-to-day basis with dealing with people, dealing with entrepreneurs, dealing with people in the weight loss space, financial space, talking to people about every part of their life. The one thing that I have become, I guess, more and more sensitive to is the languaging that I hear. And what I'm referring to is the languaging around why they can and can't do something, the languaging around why they think that something is a certain way when they really don't know any other way, right? Like you get so caught up believing that something's one way, and then all of your languaging completely gets based around that perception or that perspective, and then suddenly you talk yourself out of even doing something in the first place, even though you've never actually done it or tried. It's crazy, right? It's a weird concept, but one of the first things that I look at when I look at languaging is where is it coming from? You know, like where is that conversation coming from and what's attached to that conversation? And when I'm referring to that conversation, right, it's either the stuff that's coming out of somebody's mouth or it's the stuff that you hear them saying to themselves or even saying out loud to themselves. And when you look at where that's coming from, most of the time, our languaging is directly connected to our beliefs. And whether those beliefs are serving you or not will determine whether or not your languaging is reinforcing good beliefs or bad beliefs. Whether what you're saying to yourself is making you feel good about yourself and building up your confidence and self-esteem, or if it's attacking it and dragging you down and holding you back. All right, and I'll give you a perfect example of this. And Rian, you're gonna kill me, all right, because I'm calling you out here. But you wanna say something with confidence, but then you downplay it with your languaging. Like, hey, I do this, but I'm new at this and it's a funny title and blah, blah, blah. Rather than, hey, do you know what? This is what I do and I'm awesome at it, right? But sometimes we feel like we have to attach the end part to it because for some reason we don't wanna stand in what we believe we're good at, because maybe somebody will think that we're not good at it, right? But you got to understand that that languaging isn't about our concern about other people. Our languaging in that situation is because we don't believe it yet, right? We're not able to stand in it and own that different conversation around this is what I do, this is what I'm great at. In this example, right? We're not able to do that because we don't believe it. So exercise I want to give you today, all right? It's something that I do with all of my clients when we run our retreats in Thailand. And for me, it's one of the most powerful exercises because when I can gain awareness around my languaging, I can start working back from that. And I can start working towards really diving into what those beliefs are that are causing those conversations and the languaging, right? I don't have time, I can't do it, all those sort of things, they come back to somewhere. Often it's fear of failure or fear of success or fear of the unknown, doubt and uncertainty, all those different emotions attached to the belief that, hey, I'm not good enough. I don't know how, who says that I am good enough, right? All of that stuff. So the exercise is simple. All you gotta do is get out a piece of paper, right? Blank piece of paper, write down 5 to 10 conversations that you have out loud, things that you say about other people or things that you say about yourself on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. Everybody has at least 5 to 10 things. So if you're already saying that I don't, have a listen to that languaging, okay? Once you've got those 5 or 10 things, have a look at that and then start to work, re-engineer back from that. what's attached to that? Like, what led me to say that to myself, to say that to somebody else, to say that inside my head or out loud, whatever it is. Have a look at that and work back from it. And then once you gain awareness around it, nice simple solution. All right, I've got my 5 to 10 things down. Maybe I've worked out what's attached to that. Is it fear? Is it, a lack of self-worth? Whatever it is, once I've worked that out, then on the flip side of that piece of paper, turn it over, write down, okay, 5 to 10 conversations that you can have with yourself, things that you might start to say about other people or to other people that are more in line with the beliefs that you want to have. And those new beliefs should be attached to who you want to be or who you feel you are now, not who you feel like you were in the past. All right, you got to be able to disassociate from both. All right, so nice, simple exercise. But like anything, I can give you every exercise in the world. If you don't do it and implement it, it's not going to mean anything. So have a listen to your languaging, start to gain more awareness around it, and start to see, what those beliefs are and what we can start creating once we gain awareness around those beliefs to start creating new conversations and new languaging, right? That things like I can't and I don't have time, they don't exist in your languaging anymore. Things like I'm not able to or it's too hard. Those aren't things that come out of your mouth anymore because you don't truly believe that, right? And I call people out on this all the time when they say, it's too hard. Is it too hard? Like, is it really too hard? Like, if I put a gun to your head, I'm not saying I would, but if I did, is it too hard? Could you do it? I didn't have time, right? If you had to do it or you would lose a limb, would you find time? Yeah, you would, right? So again, it's a matter of perspective, and it's a matter of, do you really believe that, right? And then what can I do about it, and what languaging can I start creating that's only going to serve me better to make sure that that stuff doesn't even come up in my brain anymore. That little voice is gone forever. All right. I'm Adam McKenzie, and I hope you got a lot out of today. As always, comment below, let me know what you got out of it, and if you think somebody would benefit from it, hit the share button and share it with anyone else that you think would benefit from, diving in or listening to their languaging, and pay particular attention to the conversations you're having about other people behind their back, because often it says more about you than it does about them. I'll leave you with that thought for the day, and I will speak to you tomorrow.